So my resources, my time, my attitudes, how I treat other people. And those are the three main categories I'd break that into, is a benchmark or an indicator of how well we are doing at seeking first the kingdom of God is how we manage our time, how we manage our resources, and how we treat other people. Those are indicators of how well we are doing of putting God in His rightful place. Because He gives us clear instruction on all three of those areas. So if we're treating people poorly, we're missing something in putting God's kingdom first. If we're mismanaging our finances, if we get the idea that it's all for me when it comes into my management, we're missing God's principle, that it's actually better to give than to receive. And again, it's not that none of your resources are for you. God blesses you to be a blessing to others. He blesses you so you have sustenance, so you're sustained, so you're able to survive, provide for your family. All of these things, those are good things. But a portion of that, and actually all of it, belongs to God, but He's entrusted it to your care to manage well. And if it's all being used for you, you're not applying the principle of putting God first. My parents instilled this in me when I was a kid. I had the benefit of growing up as a pastor's kid. So my dad was very adamant about these kind of principles. And there was 3 different piggy banks, if you will, when I was a kid. And they were all labeled something different. So whenever I got an allowance, a little side job, something I was doing, any money, it was always divided. And my mom actually was very intentional. I remember as a kid, she'd always have smaller bills and change that she could break it into for me so we could do it right. But there was a jar that was giving, there was a jar that was savings, and then there was a jar that was for everything else. My baseball cards, my bubble gum, whatever I wanted to get, right? And we have these in our lives too, right? So we choose what to do, but like I say, most of the world gets what comes in, spend it on themselves, use whatever they want, and if there's anything left, they might give some away, they might put it in savings, might do that, and it's a very unintentional way of living. But if you put it in the correct order, say, I'm going to give first, that's the first jar everything goes to. Because that's a sign that we're putting God first. Before I spend anything else, before I make sure there's enough for me, before I get to do everything I want to do, I'm saying I'm intentionally setting apart some of this for God, for others. That it's not about me. This is actually a symbol and a sign, an indication that a portion of what I get, before I know even if I have enough coming in this month, is for God. And we manage it that way. This will transform your life.